Welcome back. On to an important conversation then. Dreamfolk Services, that stock is under pressure after it informed the exchanges that certain programs that it operated for Axis Bank and ICICI Bank were closed, even as contracts with both these clients remain active. Now, Librita Peter Kalath, who is the CMD at Dreamfolk Services, is joining in for this conversation. Librita, good morning. Thank you for joining in. You could tell us firstly as to what was the reason as to why these programs were cancelled? What part of the contract is affected and what does that do to the overall contract? Because Axis and ICICI being two major banks, how much of your top line comes from these two clients?
Sure. Good morning. So the thing is that, what led to this is, I think we all are aware that what happened couple of days back, or I would say weeks, right? There was a press release which stated that, these contracts are out of Dreamfolk's program. Now, the thing is that, these were the facts. I mean, at that point, yes, all the contracts were in place, everything. There was nothing as such. But the thing was that it was a pressure which was getting built up to the clients. Okay, it was a pressure tactics which were done. So to be very upfront, it is mainly done by these two major airport operators who have now started getting into the similar business. Now, if the competition is, in terms of the services or the technology or trying to build something different, that's where the competition should be. But I think the pressure which has been built up is to, tell the clients that, in case if they do not sign up with them or do business with them directly, they would actually stop their cardholder access to their airports. So this is a pressure which has been built up. And these are the reasons that, why these clients had to move. But let me tell you that our contracts are still in place. It is not that we were just managing the lounge program. Just the airport lounges. There are other services also which Dreamfolks provides to these clients. Secondly, also to mention that, there are around 70 plus lounges in India. However, these operators, the airport operators who are trying to get into this business are holding around 35 to 40% of the lounges only. And the other lounges are still operational, and these programs are still live on Dreamfolks platform.
Okay, Librita, I'll ask you more about which are these programs which are still active, how much of your revenues are impacted. When you talk about these pressure tactics which are coming on the clients, is it only on the clients or on Dreamfolks as well? Maybe to acquire Dreamfolks or that service business, or to give away a part of their business to these airport operators as you're mentioning?
So I'm sure, and I think you are more smart enough to understand, the way the market works here, right? Obviously, the innovation or the innovative companies are always under pressure. And yes, there is a pressure built up, not just on the clients, but the pressure is also built up on Dreamfolks as well. I do not want to specify clearly on, the way it is. But yes, if you actually look at it, the negative PR which has been built up from past few weeks was for only reason, to ensure that it impacts our stock price, because we are a listed company and obviously any negative PR is going to impact the stock. So I would say that yes, it is not just a pressure tactics to the clients, but yes, of course, it is much more to Dreamfolks.
So, Librita, to get this straight, were you or Dreamfolks were sent feelers from competition that there is an intention to acquire the company? What was your response to that, if there was any?
Indirectly, yes, we were getting these fillers, but see, it is not the business what Dreamfolks has created. I mean, I'm very proud to talk about that. It is the industry what we have built, right? So when you have built an industry and you are the number one in the market, right? And the intention of Dreamfolks are, we do not want to stop ourselves just to be a market leader in India, but the vision is to be globally present. And yes, that was one of the reasons that, we did not want to be acquired or get associated with any of such acquisition. And we wanted to be an independent company.
So in that case, what have you done to mitigate the pressure? Have you approached any authorities? There's CCI. Are you looking at any official action in that case?
Well, we are very small, okay, and I do not want to also talk about many things, but we are a very small player in this market, and I do not want to get into something which will further damage because it has already created a lot of damage to our business in terms of the way things are happening. So yes, I don't feel that any of the authority would be supportive for us for obvious reasons, and that's why we have actually not been to anyone and we have not asked for any support. But yes, as a company, we are not trying to go back in terms of trying to stop. But yes, we have already built a lot of other services. We are doing a lot of other things in terms of the technology as well. And I would say that, in this 13 years, the way we have actually built our relationship with all our clients and the trust what we have built. And I think that, yes, everyone understands that and they all want to continue work with us. Okay. And I would say that airport is not just one of the area where we are trying to focus. There are other areas which we have already built. In last interview also, I very clearly said that we are now into a lifestyle as well. And apart from
Yes.
sports, we are into railway, highway. And when I say lifestyle, we are into golf and there are new services like social.
So, Liberta, what my question here is from the shareholders' angle. What assurance do you have for them? Because while you're saying airport is not the only business, it is one of the major businesses that you have. What assurance are you giving to the shareholders? How can you just submit to the fact that there is competition pressure? What if somebody comes into your other vertical and starts pressurizing you there as well? What should shareholders do in this case? You're a listed company.
So I completely agree. So, in other areas for that matter, when I talk about outside airport industry, obviously there is no monopolistic player right now. Obviously at the airport, there are monopolistic players. I mean, there are two large operators who are sitting and want to actually dictate their terms. So of course, that is one area where I would say that, yes, I could see a risk coming in. But other industries where we are going, it is not going to be managed by one single player. So I don't see that there's going to be a risk there. And as a listed company, yes, I have to assure all my, stakeholders who are having that trust in me to believe in me that, yes, we are going to build the way we have built the lounge industry. And you will see that, what are the other things, because let me tell you one thing, that even after these things which have started happening from yesterday, all these clients are still in touch with us and we are trying to build. The same clients are actually going to move from the lounge, giving the lounge benefit, give some different benefits. So I would say that, yes, we are completely working on those, and you will see changes coming in these areas as well.
Okay. Liberta, we spoke to you on 20th June when you said the press release came out in public as well. But you denied back then. What has changed from then till now? What made you come out and actually talk about it, that, there is pressure on the business, authorities won't be supporting? What changed in last 14 days?
So, of course, that press release which was given, it was very anonymous. It was never clear that who is the one who has actually given that statement. Because if you actually see that it was none of our clients who had actually given these statements. And whoever has given was not even, I would say that, did not even have the to actually use the words that, they did not have those guts to even talk about that. Yeah, they are the one who are actually giving the press release. And I would say that, from past 2 years, this pressure has been happening and we are trying to maintain that relationship. We thought that, okay, we have to work together and it is a business thing. So I always try to be diplomatic and try to cover it up. But I thought it was high time for me to now come out and tell the facts to everybody that what is actually happening. So, before more press releases come out, because I'm sure, this is how the market works, or this is how people work, that, they would come out and tell that, what are the changes they have been driving it. But let me tell you that I do not see this as a competition. I do not see it has to be a fair competition. When we say competition, I think it has to be in a professional way, talking about technology, talking about services, but not about pressurizing or threatening somebody to do the business. So and that is one of the reasons that why today I had to come out and actually talk that, what is exactly happening.
Liberta, let's get a few things straight here. There are multiple uncertainties at this point. Part one, are there any more cancellations that are likely to take place? What are your clients telling you in terms of the relationships that you had? You've mentioned you've built a lot of relationships over these last many years, but what are your clients telling you currently as to what happens next? Part two, you are saying that you're diversifying into other areas beyond airports, but airports is your biggest business. And even if you diversify into other areas, the scaling up in those areas will take time. That's two. What happens to all of these things? The bigger part is, are there any more cancellations that are on the anvil?
So presently, if you'll actually ask me, there are no such cancellations, because even these cancellations which actually happen, I just got few hours notice. It was never that, there was a proper notice of a week or something, because I just got few hours notice that there is going to be a migration. Okay. Secondly, till date, till now, I have not got any news or any information from any of our clients on migrating from our platform. So the program is going on. Okay. But yes, we are getting information or messages from our clients that there is a lot of pressure from these two operators who are trying to pressurize them. Okay. Secondly, when you tell me, you're asking that, yes, lounge is one of our biggest revenue driver, and the new services, what you're talking about, would take time. But let me tell you something that, lounge also 13 years back when we actually launched it, it was not something that, was immediately we started seeing volumes coming in. But today, I think, the card holder or the consumer is very well aware. The awareness 13 years back was actually very less in terms of, what are the benefits on the card. But today, I think the card holder is aware in terms of what are the benefits. They know that, what kind of card would give what kind of benefits. So I don't see that it would take long time for us to actually drive more numbers in new services, because we have also seen, and we are closely working with all our clients, because none of the clients are also appreciating what is happening in the industry, and they are also looking at an alternative to immediately build up. So I would say that all these things are I don't say it would take a lot of time. I would say that you will see changes very soon.
A couple of follow-ups to that, Liberta. You mentioned that the cancellations, even the migration bit, you were given a few hours notice from these players, from your clients. Is there a general timeline as to when for a cancellation to take place? Say a week, say 15 days? That's one. And two, if today a proposal comes to you for a potential acquisition from anybody, from that matter, be it competition or be it any other player who wants to get into the space, what would your answer be?
Well, I've not thought about it. As I told, that the vision for the company is to grow global, okay? And we have a lot of things to do in terms of, getting in this industry. As a listed company, I think it is more important for me to build the trust and confidence what I have built within the market. So I want to continue that. And I have not thought about, if someone is coming and talking about the acquisition at this moment, because that is not, right now in my agenda. I would say that right now the things what I'm focusing on is completely on what needs to be built, and we are actually working on building it. And you will very soon see it is a silent period, and I actually can't talk about it, but because it was just yesterday we have created a new product, and very soon you will see that is out in the market as well.
Okay. Liberta, you're talking about confidence, you're talking about focus on the business, but the fact is you're a listed company, right? So the big question is, why did you deny it earlier and now there's a U-turn? And since you're in silent period, you won't be able to tell us what's happening next. But do you think because of whatever events have happened, there's been a huge wealth destruction for individual shareholders, big shareholders as well? Do you think SEBI should look into it? And if it's such a big problem, you can't just come to media and talk about it, right? It's not a battle of narratives anymore. It's a bigger issue than that, because lounge is the biggest business for you. So what do you have to say to the shareholders to gain that confidence back? Because they really don't know what to do about it now.
Firstly, I just want to tell you that I am not taking a U-turn or, trying to cover up. Okay, let me tell you that when I came last and when I spoke about this, obviously the contracts were in place and there was no change in the contracts. Everything was intact. We never got any such communication in terms of clients moving out. As I told you that it was just on 30th late evening wherein we got this information that yes, there's going to be a migration, and that's the only reason. So I think we are following the compliances, and I'm very clear that I would not want to give a wrong narrative to the market. I've always been very upfront and I've always given the right messages. And this time also, I have not taken time to come out and talk about it. Last time when I said it was the fact. And even right now, what I'm talking about is I'm not trying to, come to media to talk about this. You will see that what we are actually building it up, and the way would, Dreamfolks is right now, doing the business. So I just want to clear that I'm not using this platform just to make myself, right. I am actually trying to use this platform to give the right narrative, what exactly is happening with this business.
We take that point. So how did these contracts reach, say, others before the company then? And on what grounds were you asked to shut down these contracts? You must have had those conversations with your clients as well, right?
As I told you, the contracts are not shut. The contracts are still on. Okay. Today also, if you actually look at it, the ICICI program is still live on our platform. There is.
So let me put it this way. What clauses were invoked? What are removed? What part of this contract is removed? What still stays?
Okay, so if you actually look at it, that there are different set of cards which actually get these benefits. Okay, so it is only the few cards which have been migrated on the other operators' platform, and there are still few cards which are running on our platform. So that is the change which has happened. So 100% cards which were there on Dreamfolks platform are not there. There is a migration in terms of the card distribution.
So finally, Libertha, just to sum up, you mentioned that, okay, if there is a proposal for an acquisition that comes up, it is not on your agenda. It's a yes or no answer.
It is not in our agenda right now.
Okay. All right, Libertha, thank you so much for sparing time and joining us today. Of course, the reason to ask you that question, it was not the fact that you mentioned it came out on the 30th, but then since you mentioned that it's been going on for the last couple of years and you've chosen this time to talk about it, is the reason why those questions were put to you. But thank you for clarifying on a lot of these aspects. Wish you good luck for the road ahead as well. That was the management of Dreamfolk Services on a whole host of issues coming by. Stock currently 4% lower, still well below its IPO price of around 326. Take a short break. The market still, well, where it was, 60 points lower on the index. Continuing that conversation on the markets with Ashi Anand of IME Capital. Stay tuned.